Sarah's breath caught in her throat when she saw him standing in the doorway. Robert's silver eyes were locked on her. No, on his son, in her arms. The 7-year-old boy was giggling, his wheelchair abandoned across the room as she swayed gently to the music playing from her phone. She hadn't heard the door open. Robert's jaw was tight, his expensive suit somehow making him look even more dangerous. What? His voice was deadly quiet. Are you doing with my son? Her heart hammered against her ribs. This was it. She was going to lose the only job that kept her off the streets. And worse, she was going to lose Luca. 3 weeks ago, Sarah stood outside the massive iron gates of the Walsh estate, wondering if she was making the biggest mistake of her life. The job was live-in nanny for a 7-year-old boy. Excellent pay, complete discretion required. She had applied out of desperation. Mrs. Chen, the head of staff, looked her up and down. The position is for Luca, 7 years old. He's been through 6 nannies in 4 months. Why so many? The boy doesn't speak, hasn't since the accident 2 years ago that left him in the wheelchair. Most nannies treated him like he was broken. Mr. Walsh has very little patience for that. Sarah knelt down to Luca's level. Hi, Luca. I'm Sarah. That's a really cool Captain America poster. When the boy pointed to his chest and shook his head, Sarah grinned. Iron Man? Okay, I respect that. Then a presence filled the doorway. Robert Walsh stood there with silver eyes fixed on her with the focus of a predator. Mr. Walsh, Mrs. Chen said quickly. This is Sarah Mitchell, the applicant. I can see who she is. His voice was deep with a slight rasp. Luca, go with Mrs. Chen. I need to speak with Miss Mitchell. Luca looked back at Sarah with pleading eyes. Don't leave. Robert turned to look at her fully. His mother couldn't handle it. She drove her car off a bridge 2 years ago and took out a family in the other lane. Luca was in the car. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. Oh God. He spoke at the funeral, then never spoke again. Robert finished his drink. He will talk because he has a father who keeps trying, who brings him home to safety every night. Safety. Do you know what I do, Miss Mitchell? What this house is built on? I know enough. I know you're dangerous, but I also know Luca loves you. He watches the door at 7 p.m. every night, waiting for you. Something cracked in Robert's expression. Then his phone buzzed. I have to go. There's a situation. Mr. Walsh, Sarah called out. Whatever you have to do out there, come home safe. Luca needs his father. 3 days later, Mrs. Chen warned Sarah of threats from a rival family, the Castellanos. Anyone close to Mr. Walsh is a target. Sarah was desperate to bring back Luca's smile. She put on an upbeat song. My mom used to do this with me when I was sad. Want to try something? She started swaying. Luca tentatively raised his arms.
"That's it," she laughed. Sarah knelt down. "Can I pick you up? We'll dance together." Luca slowly nodded. She lifted him carefully. He melted into her embrace. "I've got you," Sarah whispered. "You're perfect exactly as you are." Luca's shoulders began to shake. He was crying, but not sad tears. These were tears of a dam finally breaking. "Sarah?" She spun around. Robert stood in the doorway. "My son is smiling." He cupped her face. No one has ever made him smile like that. "He just needed to feel safe enough to let go," Sarah whispered. Luca reached for his father. Sarah carefully transferred Luca into Robert's arms. The three of them stood there, moving together. "Sarah," Robert said softly, "if you ever need anything, I will burn the world down to keep you safe."
A week later, Sarah walked to Robert's office. "The Castellano situation is escalating. They've made direct threats against my family. I should send you away." "I'm not leaving, Luca," Sarah said firmly. "Don't," he groaned, catching her wrists. "Don't say things like that unless you understand what they mean in my world." "Then tell me," Sarah challenged. "It means that if you're mine, I don't let you go, ever. It means I'll kill anyone who looks at you wrong." He released her. "You're Luca's nanny. That's all this can be. Is that what you want? For that to be all this is? I haven't wanted normal since the day I walked through your gates. I want you," she whispered. Robert's hand tilted her face up. "You have no idea what you're asking for." "Then show me." He kissed her then. This was hunger and need. When they broke apart, Robert cupped her face. "I'm not a good man, Sarah. My world is violence and secrets. I know what you are. I see the father who checks on his son every night. The man who cried when he saw Luca smile." Robert made a sound like he was in pain and kissed her again. That afternoon, a rough, unshaven man with a scar and a gun burst into Luca's room. "The famous Nanny Castellano is going to love this." Sarah threw herself in front of Luca's bed. Her thumb found the emergency call button. "You need to leave now." "Last chance. Come quiet, or I shoot you and take the kid anyway." The man raised the gun. The window exploded inward. Men in black suits poured in. Robert was there, his suit jacket gone, blood on his knuckles, his silver eyes wild with rage. He went straight for the man. "You touched my family," Robert said. "You pointed a gun at them. Get Sarah and Luca out now." Robert didn't look away from the man. They were rushed through the house. Sarah held Luca tight. She heard the sounds of violence, of pain, of a man exacting terrible revenge. At 11 p.m. at the safe house, Robert arrived. His white shirt was splattered with blood. He knelt by the couch. "I'm sorry you had to see that, son." Then he stood and turned to Sarah.
When I heard you were in danger, I've never felt that kind of fear. I would never abandon him. That's why I need you to be my family. I need the whole world to know you're mine so I can keep you safe. Robert, I'm asking you to marry me. You love me. From the moment I saw you with my son, treating him like he mattered, you gave him back his smile, Sarah. You gave me hope. You're not a monster. You're a father who loves his son, a man who protects his people. Then marry me, Robert said again, now on his knees. Marry me and let me spend the rest of my life protecting you. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll marry you. A sound made them both turn. Luca was awake. The boy smiled and clapped his hands together. I don't deserve you, Robert said quietly. Good thing I'm not asking for what you deserve. I'm just asking for you. 3 years later, Sarah stood in the garden, 7 months pregnant. Luca had spoken his first words, "Love you, Mom." Robert's arms came around her from behind. Best decision I ever made hiring you. Best decision I ever made saying yes. As she looked up at the man she loved, she knew she'd chosen love, even when it came wrapped in danger.